Snakes.
Nice snakes, yeah, very good.
We asked you too the week before, what did you coach badly? Where did you think you lost a bit of control? Bomber, what was the coaching move, or what did you do on the weekend that you thought contributed to the team? The team carried it out, but
yeah,
was it Winderlick back? Was it a bit of, everyone called you stubborn, was it Hurley swinging a bit of forward?
No, it was a bit of both. It was more probably putting our smarter type experienced players on the half-back flank because they use their high half-forwards so well. And
so why? To defensively look after them, or to generate attack from the half-back?
Who, us?
Yeah.
No, just for both, but principally for not being too confused and not being opened up by them sort of just rushing at you. Yeah.
So we're talking about, we're trying to combat Gray, Wingard, White. These guys go.
Those guys they go right up, and then they just whoosh all the way back. And once you get in front of you, I don't reckon you got not many people will be able to catch them. They're pretty quick. So yeah, just a bit of insurance.
So the players carried out that pretty well.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Winderlick
was fantastic.
At the end of that stoppage, when there was 3 Port Adelaide players.
Yeah, I've seen all that stuff. We didn't do everything right on the night, Mark, but we got away
did enough.
With it. Yeah. Well,
so we have. When you've lost the close ones, we've focused on the how and the why. You won the close one. It seemed to me that in the last minute and a half, when it was less than a kick to difference, every player made every tackle.
They did. I'm just smiling, mate.
Put them all up here.
Yeah, I'll tell you why I'm smiling.
You have a look at the series of tackles, and if any one of these misses, the ball is going down the field.
That's one thing we did particularly well. We did tackle well on the night.
94
total, was it? Yeah, we did tackle. We've been doing a lot of it over the last 6 weeks, to be honest.
Robbie should have kicked it.
Yeah, it just takes a bit of time to come in, but it certainly came in on Saturday night.
It must be like porn for you, Roosie, wouldn't it, watching all these defensive tackles?
Well, it's a great point Jared made, because the week before we showed the Bontempelli goal, and there was like 2 opportunities to make a tackle. So it's not the glamorous side of footy, but it's very, very important.
Well, you don't win without them.
You can't win without them.
That was the one. I thought.
And
well, really, it's the ones where you think the guy's out that really make a huge difference, because it means that the other guy doesn't have to come off his man, so he can stay. Even if you get that handball out, it's to a guy that's then marked, because his opponent hasn't had to come off to help that secondary tackle.
Watching that, and I just want both of you to cast your mind back to the night Melbourne beat Essendon in that last play. Essendon didn't stick one tackle. They didn't, and Melbourne took it all the way down the ground.
I think it started with a Bernie Vince tackle.
Yeah,
Bernie
put a
tackle.
Hocking run over the top of one.
Run over the top of
to miss the tackle.
So there was a made tackle by us, a missed tackle by the Bombers. Yeah,
and they took it down. Salo marked it. Essendon couldn't touch them, and look at the difference.
Yeah, that's right. There's a big difference, wasn't there? So we were in play that time.
Is that the advancement that you've been looking for? And I guess you can only get it when you get in there and fail, get in there, fail, get in there, fail, get in there and succeed.
Yeah, well, we've done it like other years. Previous years we've won games, and we beat Freo. I don't know how we beat them last year when we were 35 points down at half time. But this year I think we've gone about it a little bit different. We've given a bit more ownership to the players, and I think they understand now how it's done and why they've got the results. I think more so than in the past.
7 goals for Port Adelaide, Roosie.
Yep.
Defensive effort. Magnificent, would you suggest?
Oh, absolutely, outstanding. And I think that's, we've talked about it a lot. I mean, it just keeps you in games. If you can keep teams to low scores, it keeps you in games, because games are going to ebb and flow. And when you get your opportunity, if you keep them, if you kick the goals, if you don't, and if you let the opposition score 6 or 7 in 15-minute, 20-minute periods, you're dead.
Yeah. This is your problem.
Yeah.
Did you coach like that the day you started? Because you took over Rocket. You went pretty well straight away, didn't you? And they would have been an attacking team.
World sport tells you. I don't watch a lot of the soccer, but world sport tells you NFL, basketball, every team that is a very, very good defensive team has an opportunity to win championships. That happens all over the world.
San Antonio Spurs.
So I reckon the Bombers used to try and improve their defence, but not alter their attack.
Explain that.
Well, I think that they tried to attack the same way, but they try and add in the defensive part.
And
Roosie strips it back, and Rossi strips it back to teach them how to defend. That's the most important.
Are you doing that?
A little bit like that, yeah.
Are you as...
I'm copying Paul.
As devout, as devout as Paul and
I mean,
Ross
both
like.
Geelong teams, though, you were top 1 and 2 defensive.
Yeah, we were a good defensive
They were
team.
great defensive teams. I mean, I think everyone focus on the Geelong teams and the Brisbane Lions teams as great offensive teams,
Yeah.
but they were all great defensive teams.
Yeah.
You know,
They were just devastating in
they were
attack,
just
weren't they?
fantastic when they got all the ball.
So
we
that's
weren't-
what
we
you're
weren't-
going to do.
Yeah.
I tried to cut
Yeah.
you off.
Well, we weren't for the first 3 or 4 years, though, 5 years.
Yeah, that's right.
We weren't.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
weren't a very
really,
good
yeah.
attacking team at all, were we,
Yeah.
Jared? You probably used to.
No.
Did you call for my head?
Never. No, I just,
That was hard.
I
That
defended
was
him.
hard.
Holding the ball. Now, this should be the gold standard for holding the
Yep.
ball. But because of the philosophical shift in the way holding the ball is being used to try to reduce stoppages, there's
Yep.
a whole layer of complexity that's been added to a very straightforward decision.
That's straightforward.
That's
That's-
a gold
yeah.
standard holding the ball in the old way that the rule was
1,
used.
2, 3, 4. Prior opportunity.
No foot, no hand.
Prior opportunity, caught,
Yeah.
dropping the ball, free kick every day of the week.
So the umpires department says we want that paid as a free kick holding the ball, but it's a close run thing.
Yes, it is. Wayne Campbell spoke tonight on Melbourne radio here and said they think it's a free kick, but it's not cut and dried a free kick. They were bringing in prior opportunity. Did he have enough time? It was pretty quick. It was pretty urgent. Did he?
It's 3 metres out from goals, man. Like, that's urgent.
This is the problem.
Yeah.
We think this is the
We
problem.
think this is gold standard
Yeah.
holding the ball.
But
the way
If
it
the
used to
umpire
be.
thinks that's play on,
That's
and
the
the
problem.
rest of the people, and he believes he's made the right decision, I think there's our problem. But if he came out and said, I think I made a mistake,
Yeah.
I'd say,
I agree.
okay.
So what do they say? They say that they said they made a mistake.
They said it's not cut and dried, though. It's a mistake. They're probably going 50 each way here at the moment.
But you know what I learned,
Ooh.
Robbo, last week when the laws of the game came out? If you elect a handball, you only have 2 steps. If you elect a kick, you have 4.
Why?
I don't,
Why?
I don't
Why?
understand. I don't understand that logic.
Wait,
Always-
is it the first time you've heard that?
I didn't know that.
I heard that at pre-season. I nearly fell over too. I couldn't understand
Isn't
that.
part of being a footballer making the decision? You can't. I don't understand that logic behind. Well, if you're not smart enough to choose to handball when you're under pressure,
Yeah.
you get 4 steps. But if you're smart enough to recognise you got pressure on, you only get 2 steps.
But that means dumb players get forced out of the game. We don't want that.
But why is that?
Why?
No, because they shouldn't have 2 steps. You understand? Just because you're not as aware or sharp
But you
as
have
say,
only got 2 steps if you elect a handball.
oh, take them slowly.
Always should try and kick.
But that's a bad
Always
rule.
try and kick.
When
you-
do
You've got
these
4
steps come into the game?
And this
I
is
don't
not this
know.
is not a rogue decision because this is
Yeah.
what happened to Bob Murphy last week.
Yeah, it's-
And
this
he didn't
was
know
wrong.
about 4 steps, but he got to 3.5 steps, got caught, and thought, "I'm going to hold the ball,"
Yeah.
and the call is play on.
Play on.
And this is the problem with the philosophy: is in not that long ago, and certainly when if the player was caught in open play, tackled and dispossessed, that was holding
Hold
the
the
ball.
ball.
But as soon as you put all the other layers in it because we want to use holding the ball to limit the stoppages, it actually affects what holding the ball is supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's for the player on the run and the tackler gets him and the whole crowd screams ball. That's
He's
what
had a
it's
chance
for.
to get rid of it, and he hasn't,
Yep.
and it's a good tackle, and you reward the
So
tackle.
I don't blame the umpires there.
No,
it didn't shock me
it's a
that
really
that
good
wasn't
point,
played on
Jeff.
Saturday
Really good
night.
point. I don't blame the umpires at all
No.
because we're all confused. And Bomber, I think if remember when we went back to talking about stoppages, Coach Association, there was a big push from coaches at the time just to, why don't you throw the ball in the air? But they wouldn't do that because of the tradition of the game. And then hence you bring in these 3 or 4 other rules and then later on down the track you start to bring throw the ball up. So what we're finding now is when they do blow the whistle quickly, they come in and throw the ball up. There's not that much congestion. But they've got all these other rules, Jared, that have been brought in the interim, which is creating pandemonium.
Brendan Goddard at the
made
moment
headlines.
is going to miss the game against Collingwood. Have you seen? Do you know the incident? This
Yes.
is the behind the goal.
Oh, I might know it. Yeah. Is that start of the game?
Oh, that's not what.
That's not the footage
That's
I've
not,
seen.
that's not
No,
miss a
this is the
game.
other footage.
This is the other
This is the
footage.
clearer footage of the incident.
What do you think?
He's being. You know what he is? Oh no, I can't swear. You know what he is?
Who? Goddard or?
Goddard. He's being a smart ass.
Oh.
It's all he's doing. He's being a bit of a dickhead, you know. He's just getting into someone's face. That's not worthy of missing
So he's
a
got
game.
intentional
Is it,
low
Brucey?
and body contact.
Well, I mean, my thing is...
It happens all the time.
I was going to say, my thing is, Robbo, is just the consistency. You know, if that is, then, okay, then everyone else that does it should be given a week.
I want to say this. Buddy Franklin ran in and took a player out after he kicked the ball and hit him in the head and didn't get anything, and that gets a week.
Yeah.
That is just not right. That's not footy.
Just got to accept it, Mark.
You
Don't we?
can't, Bomber.
No.
Do something
we
about
do.
it.
We have to accept it.
Well, you have to. Yeah,
What
there's
are you
nothing
going to do about it?
I'm not sure. We'll have a meeting tomorrow morning.
Is it your? It's not your decision anyway.
Not
is it?
really. It's probably Brendan's in the end, and we'll advise him. We'll have some legal people look at it and see what chances we are. They know the tribunal, or probably know it best.
So
better
what was
than
the
us.
gradings on that?
It
Intentional.
was intentional, which is what
Behind
gets him.
play.
It's low
Behind
end to the
play,
body.
okay.
Low end to the body is rare, but
Yeah.
it's
Behind
2 weeks
play.
down to 1.
It's 2 down to 1.
Yep.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
In
2
that
weeks.
stop
So that's what we're risking if we go to tribunal.
Yes.
That's a
2 weeks.
that
You
is-
really can't go to the tribunal.
No, it's not right, though.
Don't say that.
Jared
No,
would
I'm just
argue.
saying. I'm just saying. The problem is you can't go because
you
you're
can't.
risking 2 weeks.
know.
I'm not
Jared-
telling you what to do, Bomber.
Jared would argue you got to do it for the good of the game. You got to run the risk for the good
Is
of
that
the
what you
game.
say?
I don't know whether you can beat that, to be honest. I don't know how you show that that's
What's
not
that?
what they say it is. It's when it gets to this
It's called a
stage, it's
bump,
hard to
isn't
beat.
it? A bad bump.
Oh, I don't know.
Can we ask? We want to ask you about your opponents because they're so interesting in the run of things. What were your observations of Port Adelaide, Bomber, from the way that you'd prepared for them to the way that they played?
They're a good club. We're pretty lucky in the end when you watch the game back. They dominated the second half. We just hung on. It wasn't for our good tackling and a few individual efforts, we probably would have lost. But they're a good club. I like them a lot. I enjoy watching them play, and I think that this is a nice little correction that they'll need. We heard they were in the training phase. I'm not sure whether it's true or not. If it is true, they'll come out of that and have a very good second
How much
half.
did they miss Alipati, Carlisle and Trango?
Well, they're your two key defenders. You miss them a fair bit.
How much did you try and exploit that?
Well, yeah, probably on the night it probably didn't make as much difference because
Who
it was
played
quite
on
wet
the
and slippery.
tools?
Hey?
Who played on the tools?
Who played on that? I can't even think of their name. Yeah,
For Port Adelaide?
yeah. Who was that? That
Homs, yeah.
Homs.
Sorry, that's no disrespect.
But the problem you
Just
were
bad with names
that's
and
all right.
numbers.
But you were wheeling. You had a
Yeah.
few big guys to wheel
We
through.
went through 'em, yeah.
Through
We
that
rotated
position,
through.
and it's too hard for people to play those sort of roles, isn't it?
Is it natural, Ruzi, that the young team on the sharp rise will have a plateau, particularly in the middle of winter?
Well, it depends on what you call a plateau. I mean, I didn't see the game because, obviously we played in Darwin, but I don't know. I mean, Essendon are a good side. I mean, Essendon got some good players, some high-quality players. By all accounts, listen to Bomber, if they dominate, sometimes you just lose a game when you've played some pretty good footy against a pretty good footy team. So I'm not sure it's a plateau because...
They've lost 2 games by a
Yeah.
single,
Do you know, at the end
single
of-
figure and
Yeah.
got beaten by 4
At the end of the
goals by
game, if you're coaching both teams, you would have thought, geez, look at the setup there that they've done in a real pressure situation. They've actually set this up really well.
Yeah.
And bang, next contest they've done it again.
Yeah.
So they're well drilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're well drilled. Yeah.
Where